All right, guys, it is time to look at an interactive experience of mitosis and the cell cycle. We're going to click Start a New Game, click here to continue, and this is where we're going to start looking at this animation. So it says in order to make new body cells, we have to do the cell cycle. During the cell cycle, one cell will divide to form two daughter cells with the exact same DNA. The cell cycle goes through interphase, then mitosis, and cytokinesis is last to divide our two cells. So interphase is going to happen before mitosis. And during interphase, the cell will do normal cell activities, make proteins, grow, copy DNA, all of that. So let's make the nucleus, the nucleolus, transparent, meaning so we can see inside of it. You guys are going to see stringy DNA. The DNA looks like spaghetti. It's uncoiled. We're going to call it chromatin. When you say uncoiled stringy DNA, we're talking about a chromatin. That's what we call this DNA that looks like spaghetti. This cell has two pieces of chromatin. It means it has two DNA molecules. So this is a very simple example. You guys have 46 chromosomes, 46 pieces of chromatin because we're human beings. So let's look at this simple cell. Before mitosis can start, we need to copy the DNA inside of our cell. So we're going to click each piece of chromatin to make a copy. And we know that during interphase, the DNA is going to replicate. We know that chromatin is just DNA. We know that DNA has little segments of it called genes, and all of those things are true. Now, after interphase, we're ready to start mitosis. Mitosis is important for cell division because it's going to help us to divide the nucleus, and we know we need to make new cells so we can grow, repair our tissues, all these important things. Right? So mitosis at the end of all this is going to end up with two identical daughter cells. So once again, why do we do mitosis? A, to make more body cells like skin, liver, hair, not to make sex cells, not just for fun, but to make new body cells. Now we went through the steps of mitosis already. The order goes, pretty Miss Culp always teaches, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So if we correctly picked our option here, we would say prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, PMAT, PMAP. Now let's start mitosis with that prophase. Guys, during prophase, something super important is that we are going to actually see chromosomes. So that DNA is going to condense, get really tight and packed into these structures called chromosomes. Now we have two chromosomes in this fake little cell. You can see that each chromosome is made up of an identical half that we're going to call each piece a sister chromatid, just like Mrs. Culp and her identical twin sister. Now, we want to move these chromosomes around, but if you guys look, the nucleus is in the way. That nuclear envelope, that nuclear membrane is kind of inhibiting us. So we need to get rid of that nuclear membrane so that we can move our chromosomes around freely to divide our cell. So in prophase, the nucleus is going to fade, chromosomes are visible, and now we're on to mitosis, or oh my goodness, metaphase. Guys, in metaphase, metaphase, chromosomes line up in the middle. So now that we're in metaphase, let's say that chromosomes line up down the middle. We're going to pick that option. We now did pretty Miss Culp. Pretty Miss Culp is always, always, always doing something. Always A, anaphase, A, apart. So in anaphase, we're going to pull apart my sister chromatids. Look at that. You see how each sister chromatid is going to be pulled toward an opposite end of the cell. In anaphase, our sister chromatids are pulled apart. Guys, in telophase, we have two new nuclei forming around each of these chromosomes to make two new daughter cells. So we're going to form a new nucleus around our chromosomes since we got rid of it. In prophase, we need to come back. So telophase, two new nuclei, two new cells. Now the chromosomes are going to go back and like uncoil again. So they're going to go back to that chromatin, which was that loose spaghetti DNA. And it's going to look like it's going back into interphase. So during telophase, each new cell gets a nucleus. Chromosomes are going to uncoil and go back to spaghetti. Two body cells are being formed. We're going to call them diploid because they have all the DNA. And all of those are true for telophase. Now, as telophase is happening, usually the cell is also doing the very last step at the same time, called cytokinesis. And cytokinesis is when we split the cytoplasm. So the cytoplasm is being split, so we have two new identical daughter cells. Now that mitosis and cytokinesis are done, we have two identical daughter cells. Not daughter because they're girls, daughter because they're new baby cells. We're going to call them diploid because they have all the DNA that we started with. So we have two genetically identical daughter cells being produced. Great. Let's put the steps in order one more time. Pretty, Miss Culp always teaches P for prophase. In prophase, we can see chromosomes for the first time, but the nucleus is going to fade away. In metaphase, Pretty Miss Culp, we have chromosomes line up in the middle. Pretty Miss Culp always, anaphase, apart. Pretty Miss Culp always does what, guys? She is always talking. She is always teaching. So we have telophase as our last step here of mitosis. And in telophase, we have two new nuclei forming. The last step, guys, is how we pinch in our cells to completely split it, and that would be cytokinesis. Okay, woo! We're right. Great. Now that we're done, I can send this to Miss Culp. My name is Allie. My last name is Culp. I'm going to submit this to my teacher. My teacher's name is Culp at kosd.org. If I click check this email, it says, yeah, your teacher's registered, because I am. And we'll click continue. And we're going to send it. I guess I got to do it again. To me. I don't really care if you put your block in there. It doesn't matter. Right? Upload the score. Woo! I sent it to me. I'm going to get points. What a great day. All right, so great. We went through mitosis and cytokinesis. Remember that interphase happens before mitosis even starts, then PMAT, and then cytokinesis to end the cell cycle.